Hi. Like you, I'm excited about the opportunity that we're having next week to move back into the sanctuary for our worship. I'm looking forward to just being together in that familiar environment, just lifting our voices in praise and in celebration of God's greatness. But I do want to share with you that there are some things that we're going to have to do differently as we continue to manage our way through this continuing pandemic that we're facing. Now, obviously, we want to keep your protection as a high priority in what we're doing. And so when we arrive, we'll have the doors already propped open, so there'll be a touchless entry. You won't have to get a hold of anything or anything like that. The greeters will be masked, and we'll ask them to step back, giving you plenty of room to enter the sanctuary. There will be plenty of hand sanitizing equipment and things available to you, and so we want you to feel free to use that. And then we will also want to share with you that for the time being, for the short term at least, we're going to be using electronic mediums in order to communicate with you, announcements and things of that nature. There will not be any bulletins for you to need to handle or anything like that. We'll put everything on a projector, and through the week, I will be contacting the church through emails and text messages. I realize that some of you haven't been the greatest about reading your emails regularly, so I really want to encourage you to check them frequently, because as the week progresses, there'll probably be things that I need to share with you about our upcoming services and worship and ministry opportunities. And so email is a great way for us to do that and share a lot of information at one time. I also just want to encourage your cooperation. You know, I know that everyone has different views about what we're doing and different attitudes about this, but I know that when we cooperate with one another and we encourage one another, we're going to have a wonderful time of being able just to focus on Jesus as we worship together. Now, when you enter the sanctuary, the ushers will be guiding you to your seating assignment, and I'll call it that because we're going to be asking that family groups sit together. Now, when we say that, we're talking about extended families. Obviously, we realize that parents and children and grandparents are often together now, and so it really makes no sense for us to try to isolate them here. And so we'll have that extended family group together, and then we're going to be skipping every other pew to provide for proper social distancing, and we'll ask you to sit at various places through the sanctuary. I think you'll find it to be a fairly easy process as we work our way through that. When we receive our offering on Sunday, instead of passing an offering plate, I'll just make some announcements about this, but we'll have an offering box at the back entrance where you can, as you leave, just place your offering, or if there's a decision card that you'd like to put or a prayer need that you'd like to put in there, feel free to do those things as well. You can place them in that box and we'll address them after the service. And one of the things we'd also ask of you to do, that when we're dismissed from the services and we're leaving, if you would proceed completely outdoors. We're good Baptist people. We love to congregate and we love to fellowship with one another, and we want to hug and shake hands and do all of those kinds of things. But if you can just kind of avoid that by just moving all the way down the ramp and out the door, it would be so much more helpful for us. Now, there is the possibility that we're going to reach a limit to the number of seats that we have in the sanctuary. CDC guidelines say that we can only have about 25% of capacity at this point, and we're going to try to follow those guidelines. And should that event occur, then we will have an overflow area already established and ready to go in the gymnasium, where everything that we're doing in the sanctuary will be live streamed there so that you can see it. I realize as well that there might be some people who are still yet uncomfortable about coming and gathering together in a larger group to worship, and I fully understand that. So please be aware that our services will be live streamed on YouTube and on Facebook as they happen on Sunday mornings. And so we want you to come to worship should you feel free and comfortable to do that, but should you not, we want you to still be able to worship with us as we do that in that live stream environment. environment. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other questions that are going to be asked that we need to address, and we'll be working our way through them, obviously. But for now, understand that we're taking every precaution we can to protect you and yet to give us a genuine and exciting worship experience. Now, some of the things that we're doing in preparation for that is that we're going to be giving the carpets a freshening. We're going to clean them on Monday. That would be tomorrow, and we need some help with that. So if you could help us, we'll be getting together at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and if we can get 6 or 7 guys out here to help, it would be wonderful. And then on Saturday, just before we gather into the church for worship, one of the things we're going to do is we're just going to go over and give everything another coat of disinfectant, another sanitizing, just so that we can make sure that everything is ready for us when we gather here on Sunday. Again, we're going to need some volunteer help for that, and if you can let me know that you'd be willing to be a part of the team that helps us with that, I would appreciate it so very much. A lot to do, but there's a lot of excitement about being able to gather back in God's house with God's people to celebrate the great and glorious God that we serve. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. God bless you and have a great week.